Hi moms and dads, I'm just going to quickly run through phonics in grade 1. Phonics is the basis of reading, and once your children understand that letters go together to make words, and eventually the words become sentences, and then they learn to read. We do not ever use letter names, we only use sounds. So this is what we did last term. We did the short vowel sounds. So we never said A, E, I, O, U. Those are the letter names. We used A, E, I, O, A. So we have finished with that now. And in the phonics homework book that the children will now be working in, most of the words have now introduced a new sound, but they will have these short vowel sounds in the middle. So the method that should be used to teach the words weekly is the following. So on the first day, the words are written down in a column, and let's say this is the first word on the week that you are learning. So it would be the short S sound. So the first word is cap. So your child can look at it, try and read it. You can help them with it. You can discuss the meanings, and then it will say Monday at the top, and then your child simply copies this word cap into Monday's column. But as the week progresses, I have put it on the home learning program. It is no use your child just copying that word all the time and not trying to do it independently. So we use the following method. Your child looks at the word, reads it out aloud, then covers it, writes it on their own, and then checks that they have done it correctly. Then the next thing I'd like to discuss is about sight words. These words are given a different way of learning them because they form at least 80 to 90% of all of our reading material, but they cannot be sounded out. So if you want to learn the word very, you will never get to it by sounding it out like we've discussed over here. V, E, R, I. You will never get to very. So these words need to be learnt as a whole. And your children are given 5 of these words every week to learn. The best way to do that is to put them make them bigger, put them on a cardboard box or something, and cut them up and use them just for repetition all the time, that the children, when they see them, they see it as a whole and they are able to recognize it in their reading material. Then the last thing I'd like to discuss is dictation. It is very important that your children learn their phonics words in sentences so that they start to practice writing in sentences and realizing that words together make sentences. This also assists with their reading. But the way that the dictation is done is important so that it assists a whole lot of learning with it. Firstly, it's the learning of the words. Then it's the handwriting. How do you space words in a sentence? The spelling of the word. And lastly, listening. So the auditory part of it as well. So dictation shouldn't be separated into parts and then your child says halfway, what did you say, what was that? Because in a classroom situation, when that happens, then the whole class gets confused and they lose their place and nobody knows what's going on. So this is the way that I teach the children in the classroom, and by Friday, if it has been done the whole week, they are able to write the sentence just from listening to it. So this is how I would do it when I call out dictation to the children. So, the cat was on the wall. We never break it up. We never say the cat was on the wall. It's one sentence. So I would say it once, the cat was on the wall. I'd say it again, the cat was on the wall. Then the children repeat it with me. The cat was on the wall. And then they repeat it on their own, and then they write it. While they are writing it, they may not say, what comes after was, what happens here. They write it as they have heard it. And then when we look at assessment of how they have done or how they have progressed, you make sure that they have a capital letter to start, that their spacing of words is correct, that it is not just one big word, and then that they end with a full stop or a capital letter.